Welcome to another episode of the Finish Podcast with my potentially permanent Mexican.
Permanent sub-Mexican.
Permanent sub-Mexican Francisco, baby daddy as well. Yes, that's correct.
And baby.
And baby. Yeah, baby boy.
Yeah.
Baby boy with an R name coming soon. Coming any day now. I kept Fran up last night actually because I started getting horrible cramps. And then at 4 a.m. I'm on my phone going, is this a sign? Is this a sign of labor? Because, when we're 3 weeks out now, it could happen any day.
Yeah.
Shit. On a scale of 0 to ready, how are you feeling?
So I feel like from certain hours of the day, 10, certain hours 0.
Oh, really?
Certain hours 10.
Yeah. We actually... I don't know if other couples are this way, and especially as a woman, I can bitch about it. Like we don't communicate enough at night because like last night was really nice. I hope you know because we talked for a little bit about like how I was feeling about the baby, and he knows it just because he's in the doghouse, and maybe we'll touch on it just because I was pissed when he was out of town. We tend to have communication issues, which I know a lot of couples do, but anyway, last night was nice because my legs were really swollen, so I put them up on the wall and in the bed, so I couldn't face the television. So we had to stop watching Ozark. And then you actually talked to me like in depth and paid attention for like half an hour. And we talked about how we were feeling about baby's arrival and the things that I'm frustrated about, just kind of me complaining about how my pregnancy just wasn't what I thought it would be. And so sometimes I have moments of feeling, you feel resentment, or I haven't been working as much as I want. So I feel frustrated. And you were listening to me. It was really nice. So thanks.
You're welcome. No, it was actually really nice. Like I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the time to just stop anything and everything we were doing just to catch up on.
It's normal. I'm sure a lot of couples are this way. I mean, when you both work all day long and he's had a lot going on, I can tell, and everyone deals with stress differently, right? So you read a lot about how men deal with stress of an impending baby and I don't feel my best, obviously. And so, but I think a lot of times at night, couples, you get home, it's like, what do you do? Right. I mean, especially when you don't have kids, you sit on the couch or you eat dinner together if you're lucky. And you're both still kind of on your phone doing work or unwinding, right? Like he loves to play chess as we have a television show on. And, what have we been other than now that Ozark's back or something? Quality is
we
great.
Are like
because we're 12 seasons deep into what's the Dave Navarro tattoo show? Ink Master.
Like I don't know how we got hooked on that. Like I've never watched a reality show TV until.
Yeah, he won't watch reality with me, and neither of us really like reality television much, which I know is weird, and we're like the anomaly. But I just don't tend to watch much reality TV even on my own. I would like to watch stuff here and there a little more than you do.
But today I feel like this week, I feel like when we restock the fridge and you open it, and it's like so many options.
Oh yeah, because
we have Ozark, we have Billions.
Oh, that's right, Billions is back. Yeah,
we have.
You compare it to a fridge restocking?
Yeah, because it's something that you're craving.
Yeah. Speaking of cravings.
Better trash TV.
Speaking of cravings, I was going through stuff that we were going to talk about on the show today, and I realized like the full C's are the theme, like talking about communication, talking about Fran's cooking class, which we'll get to in a minute. Don't worry. We're not going to let you down.
Happening.
But cravings, I drove through McDonald's this morning and got breakfast on the way to work. I haven't done that in a hot minute. And it was pricey. I'm just going to say, like, I was kind of surprised because lately I've just been going to Sonic. Neither of these are sponsors of the Finish Podcast. I got called out by an attorney the other day, texted me and was like, is Sonic paying you? And I was like, no, I wish. Like, I'm obsessed with Sonic right now. But no, I went to McDonald's this morning and I got breakfast.
I know you're cheating on them.
Yeah, well, no, Sonic still has my heart, but like I had never experienced Sonic food really. Like I've had their, I don't want to say the wrong name, but whatever their frozen like ice cream blends are that aren't
milkshake.
That aren't
like food.
I don't just
their milkshake like dessert.
They're not blizzards. Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong name, but
not Frosties.
So anyway, no, I had Sonic before. I think I said that last week, but something has come over me. Like I am so addicted to these limeades with extra lime. They actually sent me a $50 Sonic gift card to get me through, which is great. That should get me through
a week for sure.
No, those limeades are like $2 for a large, which apparently is called a Route 44, and everyone's corrected me, so thank you. But they've never corrected me, just so everyone knows. But my TikTok went mildly viral, where I had my mouth on the baby on the stomach, going through TikTok arguing with the baby about what he wanted to eat, like the tots and the large limeade and stuff. And everyone on there, on TikTok, you get people that don't know who you are and don't follow you. They were actually nice. That's always the danger if something gets a lot of views on TikTok. People are brutal. The comments on TikTok, so I'm sure all of us go to the comments first.
I think they're entertaining because they could be some that are like, of course, the typical Karen out there that just wants to have something to say.
I know. Everyone just wants to correct is more my point. But my Sonic order, when I finally started trying some of the food, I tried a burger. Usually when I go through, I'm only getting a limeade, but burger, tots. I don't eat hot dogs. Everyone stop telling me to get some chili cheese coney. Like I don't like hot dogs. However, my meal, like it's shocking when I go through, like it's like $4, right? $5. But McDonald's breakfast today that I hadn't had in a minute. Do you
those
know
$7?
$10.25. $10.25.
Did you order one or two?
It was one.
Was it one combo or two combos?
$10.25. What in the world? When did McDonald's get so expensive?
Babe, inflation.
I got number 2. I don't know why at every fast food restaurant, the thing I always want is a number 2 because that's disgusting. Because that's exactly what it's going to make me do. But like, I get a number 2.
It's going to make you do number 3.
I got it was just a sausage, egg, McMuffin meal, and then an orange juice. $10.25.
Extra large?
No, regular size. Look how small that coffee is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, even the baby's disappointed. He didn't even move today. Usually he moves when he gets his Sonic limeade. He's like, he loves it.
Well, the thing is that it's half my kid and he's very frugal with his money. So when he had to pay $10 for a McDonald's breakfast, he's like feeling like, what the fuck?
He's like, wait a second. Yeah, exactly. But speaking of baby, I'm really excited because there's so much cool baby education out there, and we have a new sponsor of the podcast. And I was actually just talking to our producer about it because people that know kids stuff, and I'm excited.
I am super excited.
I know we've talked about this. Like, I'm not as worried about the newborn. I feel the most pressure about like educational tools for the child, like when you have to start doing tummy time. And, at first they say, I don't even know if you know this, that since they can't see color and they can't see very far, that even from like day 1, you're supposed to show them black and white, like flashcards and stuff. But we're really excited here at the Finish Podcast to have a partnership with KiwiCo. So this is a subscription, box set where you're going to get cool exploration type of stuff for your child to try out all year long. So look, you're going to get hands-on science, art, geography projects delivered to your door every month. Of course, when your kids are a little bit older right now, if they're old enough to understand what they're getting, they're going to be so excited because these are going to be like stimulating, fun, educational boxes for them, right?
I'm all about that type of toys. Like, I think I grew up with.
Well, your dad, right? Let me interrupt you. Your dad was an engineer. And so you say he can fix and build and do anything. Yeah. And you've kind of impressed me with your ability to do that because I didn't grow up that way. But part of KiwiCo, some of their boxes are teaching engineering and building skills.
Yeah. I've been targeted with their advertising. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, because they see the kind of stuff you've been looking up for baby, right? Isn't that amazing how that works? But this is a way to keep your child engaged, busy, and challenged in a really fulfilling way, right? That's not playing video games, which is what my mom says. Please don't let him just play video games all the time. I'm like, no, he's going to be doing KiwiCo subscription boxes. Yeah. So he's actually learning. Redefine learning with play. Explore hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills all year long. You're actually going to get 50% off your first month plus free shipping on any crate line when you use the code FITTISH at kiwico.com. That's 50% off your first month at kiwico.com. That's KIWICO.com. And again, that promo code is FITTISH. Really cool. Go check out everything they have to offer. So we might have to wait a minute. I don't think newborn baby can do
No,
a
I think
KiwiCo
we'll
box,
have to wait
but
at least like 3 years, but
no,
maybe 2.
no, 6 months. He's gonna be smart.
I'm sure. No, I'm sure, but I want to give him some break, you know? To be able
No,
to relax before we start dumping him
dumping him with what?
with like educational stuff.
Well, let's touch base for a moment on the cooking class because a lot of you have been asking, and I could combine cooking class issues with communication issues right now, but I
But
don't want to get into that.
I
So
went
do you
to
want to let him?
Mexico for research purposes. I went to work and I went for research purposes to find
Oh,
the
yeah.
right, correct, appropriate recipe for our audience.
Okay, Anthony Bourdain. Like, you go to fucking Mexico for research purposes because
Well, I worked.
this is what he does. This is how he spends the fact that he didn't get me the menu items in time, that I've asked for a week for his ingredient list of what he
Good
wants to
shit
cook. And
takes
so
time.
I can make some social stuff for y'all, right? Because I would like to think that you may want to go grocery shopping a few days before and like buy the stuff so you could cook together. If not, you can just watch us argue as we cook and I watch him cook and I have to cut stuff. That'll be entertaining as well. But the point is, we're going to go ahead and do this next Friday night, right? So what's the date of that? That's going to be a couple days into February.
I'll
right.
tell you in a second.
So instead of doing it this Friday as planned, we're going to do it next Friday.
February 4th.
February 4th.
Yeah.
Unless I go into labor. February 4th at 7 p.m. we're going to do this. And in the next couple days.
We're going to do it regardless.
Okay.
We're going to do it from the hospital.
Okay.
Kitchen.
But I'm going to post about the I'll post the ingredient list, but what are you going to make? You can tell everyone right now what you're going to make because I can't pronounce it.
Of course, I went to the cook I trust the most in my life, which is my mom.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And I'd like, Mom, I need an amazing recipe that it's not too hard, not too intricate, and it doesn't take 8 hours to make.
Right. Yeah.
So she gave me a couple options, and we landed in Caldo Tlalpeño, which is amazing. If you have been to Mexico and have...
Well, caldo is soup.
Yes, soup.
Right.
It's like a Tlalpeño chicken soup.
What's the difference between caldo and sopa?
So that's a very good question. My take is...
Your take.
Yeah, because it's not math. It's not exact science. So my take is that caldo is broth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that comes from the juices of the meat and the bones. Sopa is everything else that you'd eat with a spoon.
So what's chicken tortilla soup?
So chicken tortilla soup, if it's made, it's caldo because it's made out of chicken broth.
Is this the kind of argument Mexicans get into? Like we get into arguments about like, is a hot dog a sandwich?
It could be.
Kind
It could be because I can see like, can I have a caldo? Oh, no, it's caldo. It's sopa. But you have to be very snobby to just like correct someone in their caldo.
This is why
sopa.
I had to hire a Spanish instructor, even though I've taken a year off, which, I'm going to have to get back into it. Because when I ask him questions like this, like as an ignorant American trying to learn Spanish, you want to know the answer to this, or at least I do when I learn language. I just want to know. I want to know why I use certain conjugations of verbs in certain ways. And I think with him growing up, just knowing all of these things, just learning why you use a star, we've talked about this. His explanation to me is always like, it just is. I was like, no, I need more than that. I need way more than it just is.
That's how I learned it. Okay.
Yeah.
But going back to caldo and sopa.
Okay.
I think caldo has meat on it also. So like when we go to that Mexican restaurant that we like, there's this lima soup.
Sopa de lima.
Sopa de lima.
It's just
because it
broth.
doesn't have meat.
It does. It has chicken in it.
No, it doesn't. Does it?
I made you question it, didn't I?
Oh, my theory is not bulletproof.
Yeah, it has chicken in it.
So maybe. I don't know. Maybe you add it after.
And pozole verde, where's the sopa or the caldo in that?
Well, that's pozole, babe. That's a different type of animal.
All right. Well, I posed an Instagram story this morning. We can we can touch on mine and Fran's communication issues. It was the worst fight I think I've been in with him since I've been pregnant. So you can look forward to.
For the worst, it was the shortest.
It was short, but it was
intense.
It was intense. It was bad. We'll get to that. That's a good tease. We'll get to that in a minute. Because now we're doing much better. And it was really the only major fight we've gotten into. Yeah. So we'll have to discuss that. But we got an email from Jennifer, and she wrote us a long email. So and I just get excited because I know a lot of y'all are interested in sharing stuff, but really complimentary, loves listening to us, she said. And thank God your sub-Mexican is such a talented co-host. Don't say that. I shouldn't have read that. That's going to go to his head. He's already showing up late to record the podcast. So, but she says, you're so funny together. She's trying to start a family. She's the same age as me, 37. But she said, this question is specifically for Jenna. Take a breather. Several years ago, I left my hometown with my then boyfriend to pursue some opportunities for work. I work in healthcare. I was doing some travel work, as was my boyfriend at the time. Fast forward a few months, it wasn't working out. I found myself in this place I didn't want to be in, and my relationship wasn't going well. I used to listen to the morning show as I was driving to my job, and it was a total highlight of my day. My then boyfriend proposed around the same time your ex did, Jenna. I remember being so excited for you and somehow thinking this was a good omen for my relationship, possibly. Unfortunately, I no longer see it that way. We broke up. I felt heartbroken for you. I felt pretty sorry for myself. Now, fast forward, I've met the love of my life. It's like we're living parallel lives, isn't it? My doubts that I had gone through all those difficult years went away, and I finally realized what being with the right person feels like. Isn't that amazing? We got married over a year ago. We eloped. None of us wanted a big wedding or production. I wouldn't have it any other way. I recommend you and Franny do the same as well. I know.
Yeah, we might elope with 500 people, but...
Elope with 500 people? I still feel the same way I've always felt, even though everyone was like, you're going to want a big wedding. Like, no, I don't. Should we talk about that? Is that important to you?
Well, maybe we can wait. Maybe we can just co-share a big wedding with our kid.
Co-share?
Yeah, whenever he gets married, we just hey, we just piggyback.
like we're still going to be together then?
Oh, let's hope. Look at that. Newsflash here.
You know what?
So you just wanted me for my sperm.
Yeah. She actually just said, she wanted to know what kind of was the catalyst, for that bad moment in my life ending, I guess. And, she was like, that caused you to be totally done. You know what I think, without going into too much detail, because that was just such a shitty time in my life too. I think that what girls, especially with women, because we're so emotional, don't realize is, and I know and everyone says this, you can't, things that feel like the end of the world at the time, they're going to feel like it. Time's the only thing that helps that go away. But I think you'll be shocked if you can just kind of work on yourself. And that's really what I did, at that time. It was really important to me. A lot of us have been through heartbreak, and, Fran's had relationships. I'm sure, we were actually talking about a breakup he had last night, that ended really horribly. And it's nice that we're able to talk about that sort of thing. Because I think when you're with the right person, you realize how horribly wrong that was. And you can look back and go, wow, I'm so lucky that it didn't turn out that way. Now, it doesn't make you feel better if you're sitting at home right now and you're devastated. So, my tips for that, something that worked really well for me was I threw that negative energy into Fitish, right? I started the business. I said, anytime I get sad, instead of drinking or just sitting on the couch crying and smoking pot, you give yourself some time to grieve, of course. But you go, deep down, this just isn't right. It shouldn't be this difficult. You shouldn't have to force something, and you just kind of one foot in front of the other, right? Head down day by day. I changed, real specifically, I changed a lot of my habits. I started just doing stuff differently, different grocery store, different workout routine, different things. So you're not kind of
different nationality.
Total different nationality. No, I didn't date for a long time, actually. I was so done. I was so over it. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't make the same mistake again, because it kind of made me realize, I went to therapy. I'm like, I'm attracting horrible people in my life, because that's what I realized. It wasn't just him. It was, there were other girls in my life. There were people that I started going, I am attracting people that aren't good people. They're not good. They're selfish, or they're not what I need. And I thought, was something wrong with me? Because I'm attracting people that aren't good. And so I was like, I got to lock it down for a bit. I got to focus on Jenna and focus on myself. So for about a year and a half, I swear to you, I might have had like, a couple of like hookups, but I didn't date. Like I didn't, I love you. I didn't date, I didn't like actually take anything seriously. I was entertaining a couple like young guys that thought I was hot and it made me feel good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that,
Don't.
but there was nothing serious for a long time. And then I finally started feeling better and was like, okay, maybe now I can like find someone who kind of has their shit together. And after that decision, I think I met you like 3-4 months later. But yeah, I didn't date for about a year and a half.
Last weekend you wish that this was just a hookup.
Yeah, I did. You're right. I was like, get your shit and get out of here. But now I have your baby. Fuck, what am I going to do? Yeah. Hey, it's not easy. But anyway, I know that was kind of long winded, but it's just hard. Just know deep down, work on yourself because it's going to feel like the end of the world. But you're going to look back and I can't tell you how much that I do now. And I know it's so annoying when people say that, because people older than you will say that and they'll go, oh, you'll be fine. It's not meant to be. It's like, well, fuck that. I hate when people say that at the time when you're really upset, but it's so true because I sit here every day of my life and I go, I am so glad, finding a partner that could not be more of a departure from some of the people I had dated in the past, knowing how 50-50 we are and wanting this family and kind of how our goals are aligned and our priorities are aligned in life and our values and just the fulfillingness the fulfillment that I feel like in our relationship in general, and our ability to communicate. I could go on, but like just all things that I never would have had with these other people. And so, anyway, it's really
I think it's really important to consider something.
What?
Like 99% of the relationships that you have an expiration date.
Yeah.
And the most important
romantic and friendship.
Yes. And the most important thing is to recognize it. Recognize that you could have an amazing time, but then it run its course. And it's only that one special person that could be, oh my God, this could be something that we can make work out.
It was easier with you too. And sometimes you go, wow, it's like, of course. No, but I mean, like it was comfortable. Like it was never like a fight to like spend time together or like you wanted to hang out and it just didn't feel so immature. It was just nice. And, I could sit here and give kind of therapy style advice, but the professionals are good at that. And I'm able to kind of regurgitate some of that because I've been to a lot of therapy. I've like healed and grown from things and BetterHelp is the perfect solution. If you're going through something, you don't have to take it from me. Get a professional that's affordable. You don't have to leave your home. If you're heartbroken, you don't have to change out of your pajamas. You don't have to turn on your camera. You can have moments like that. But BetterHelp, and it's not just for heartbreak, of course. That's what we're talking about in this moment. But, this could be needing kind of that life support, right? You need a life coach. Maybe you're dealing with some signs of depression. BetterHelp is virtual therapy. So you can actually be matched with someone in under 48 hours that's going to specialize in what you're needing in your life. You don't have to drive to them. Like I said, you can talk to them on the phone, which makes it convenient when you're not feeling good. Frankly, it sucks to go find a therapist and go sit in an office and be vulnerable. So to be able to do it from the comfort of your own home is so nice. Like I said, it's customized online therapy. You can do it couple style, really depends on what you need. So just check out betterhelp.com, betterhelp.com/fitish. You, as a Fitish listener, are going to get 10% off your first month when you go to betterhelp.com/fitish. I think you're going to be surprised at what you find if you really start checking out therapy. And a friend of mine said something really flattering to me recently, because we were having this conversation about, I don't know if guys are the same way, Francisco, but as the difference between me in my 20s and me now at 37 in this chapter of my life. I mean, I could sit here and say I've lost a lot of friends, but truthfully, a lot by choice, a lot because I like heavily edit my life and, I don't want people around that have a lot of drama or say things about me that aren't true. And you start to be very disappointed by that sometimes. And so anyway, a girlfriend said to me, she goes, what I've realized about you, she had heard someone say something negative about me, someone I used to be close friends with. And I think she said to her, like, Jenna hasn't done anything to you. Like, why are you feeling so negative? You're just not close anymore or something. And she said to me, she goes, I think what I recognize with you is you've grown so much because you've done therapy, you have this business, you have this relationship, you're having a baby, you've gone through all this, that you've actually kind of worked on yourself. So I think a lot of people can see that. Like, you're not the same Jenna that you were when you were in your 20s, because you've done a lot of maturing and healing and all of these things. But then you look at certain other people that don't do that, because it's very hard. Like, it's very hard to change. It's hard to grow and like take care of your issues.
The easy path is just to shuffle under the rug.
Yeah,
and just
find new friends, continue to be this way. Yeah.
And
blame other people.
Negativity. Yes, be just denying, thinking that you are doing everything right instead of questioning yourself.
Well, have we made it, everyone? Have we made it? What did I just say?
Maybe you're already speaking Spanish.
Made it? Have we made it long enough? Oh no, I don't know what I was watching Ozark. Yeah. No, I think that, speaking of therapy, which I said to Fran when he was in Mexico, I go, when you come back, we're going to therapy about this issue. But I thought just like we could briefly talk about it, because I think a lot of people, and we do need some help on it going forward, but for sure, he's scared. No, I just, I love you very much. But, the biggest issue that I've had in this relationship is you are such a poor communicator sometimes. And, and I hate, he's going to be on the defensive because, I've had friends when he has the best intentions, sometimes he wants to plan a birthday dinner, or he wants to plan something grand for me, and he involves my friends in it. And then they just like don't hear from him again. And they'll be like, Jenna, Fran is like, he means so well. Like, he always wants to do something great, but then he just kind of stops communicating. I think you are really ADD and you get really distracted, like just with, you have a lot going on.
Things that my real close friends can read my mind. So I think that I just can send one message and they can elaborate.
I had
These people are very uncreative.
Such a mega meltdown the other night. I mean, I told him I have never been so upset in this relationship. I mean, maybe one other time early on that we got through, but he was in Mexico, and I told him, my biggest deal when he travels or when he goes out, and I don't know, I mean, I bet a lot of couples go through this, is that I just like to know that he's okay. And I think I have this irrational, I've looked into it, when you're pregnant, women say, I'm not, I don't have this fear of like infidelity, right? Like, I don't feel like every time he goes out to dinner that he's like fucking another woman. It's not like that. It's more that I get this like anxiety that he's not okay, especially being in Mexico City. And, I know that he'll go out to a lunch and he'll be out, for hours and hours. And so I've always told him, I go, he's not good with time management, for one. So, he'll be like, I'll be home at 7, and then it's like 10. And I'm like, where the fuck are you? And so that stresses me out. I'm like, just call me. But I think you're really good when you're with people because you're engaged and you're in the moment, but then you forget to just let me know that you're like alive. And anyway, so I told him, I go, I prepared you. I'm irrational right now being pregnant. They say you have this irrational fear of losing someone, like when they're flying and traveling and out, that you get really scared, you get really needy, when you're pregnant. And I'm due, and, really at this point, I guess it could happen any day. So I said, you have to have your phone by you at all times. So if I'm like worried, admittedly irrationally sometimes, I can be like, hey, Fran, like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And so he had a lunch the other day and we talked. I mean, we don't talk much when you're traveling because you're busy, but we check in here and there.
I to call you as much as I could.
You did. And so then there was a moment around 7. We hadn't talked since 3. And I texted you to see like what you were doing in between meetings, if you were okay. And like 45 minutes goes by and I don't hear from him. And then he calls me. He's like, I'm sorry, my phone was behind the bar charging. And I'm like, don't let your phone die, please. If you're going to be out all night, just let me know. He's like, no, I'll be home around 8 or 9. 10:30. Call, I text, nothing. I don't hear from him till like 1 a.m. And you have to understand, between the hours of 9 and 1 a.m., Jenna has gone from like, I'm not at a 0 right now. I'm already at a 50. I've gone to like 150. This range of emotion I was experiencing, I was crying. I was like having some kind of panic attack that I can't medicate for because I'm pregnant. I thought maybe he died or something had happened because he would never do that. Like, he usually always answers the phone when I call. I was so worried. And then, of course, when he finally calls me, I'm fucking pissed. Like, when you find out they're alive and they're okay, you're just mad. His phone had died for like 4 hours. I was so mad.
The thing is that it was it was funny in a really bad way because...
No, nothing was funny about it.
So, of course, I was with a group of clients and investors, and I had my phone all the time throughout my whole trip in Mexico. I had it with me.
Who cares if you have your
And
phone if it's not working?
Wait. And then, yeah, we talked like at 7. I sat down with them. We kept going.
Yeah.
And around 10:30, 11, I realized that my phone was 2%. So it's like, I sent the phone to be charged for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly when you call.
How'd you get an Uber home? You didn't call me till you got home.
No, I called you.
No.
I called you when I was leaving the restaurant.
No, you didn't.
Well, you might have not answered.
No, you didn't. You called me when you got home.
Oh yeah, maybe yes, you're right. 12:30.
Yeah. So, I mean, and so this is, these are the kind of things you go through. So instead of, at first you argue a little bit, right? But I was so mad. I was so mad that I said, I'm not going to fucking talk to you till you get back to Dallas. And I didn't.
No,
I was so
the
mad. I was
punishment
so hurt. Well,
that we didn't need to communicate for the rest of the trip.
I don't, I'm not one to want to punish like that. I think I was so mad that I knew that you were just going to apologize. And I was so mad that I just couldn't, because I was so worked up about it. I usually don't do that. I mean, I told you if I wanted to labor or something, I would have called you or texted you. But that's what made me so mad is the thought that this one person.
Oh, no, that was the thoughtfulness that I really was thankful. We don't need to communicate unless something happens. Okay, that works.
Yeah, I'm sure you were fine with it. Yeah.
No, I was pretty upset at the beginning.
Yeah, of course you were, but you don't get to dictate when we communicate. And your phone dies when you go to Mexico.
You have the
3
rights.
weeks before I have the baby. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was like, well, fuck that. If you get to decide when we talk, then I'll just talk to you when you get back. Yeah, no, I was just really, I know it sucks. I was really upset. And I think it's more, how do you find a solution, And I think that's where our arguments take a turn because he apologizes and he'll say, your excuse is valid. It's always, well, I never mean to do anything malicious. He's like, I'm not out doing anything bad. And I'm like, it's not that I think you are. I wouldn't be having a child with you. It's more just creating this very unnecessary concern that I try to explain to him. It's really our only real issue that we've had consistently. Because I'm like, text me, text me from your friend's phone. You have an Apple Watch even. I mean, maybe that was dead. You have an iPad. In this day and age, I don't believe there's any excuse to not text or be available for a partner. And it wasn't the first time this has happened. This is obviously, as you can tell, kind of a thing sometimes that really gets me worked up. So that's why I was really mad. But then I realized I can't just break up with him anymore. I'm having his child, in my more immature days, I'd be like, get out. I'm done. I need a break. And I think that's what makes it so hard, when you're at a level of a relationship that you don't want that to be the out anymore. You want to be with someone, but you're so mad at them. And that makes it really hard. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that because you get so mad, but when you're having a child together. So it's you don't want, that's not the solution. You don't want to break up with someone. You want to work through it. And working through problems is far harder than just being
and baby, I'm pretty sure baby was telling, I want to meet dad. I want
to meet dad.
Yeah, he sounds like a
Where's
nice
dad?
guy.
I haven't heard from him in a while. Dad didn't answer. Dad's not here. Wasn't he supposed to pick me up? Where's dad?
Oh,
you better get your shit together.
That's not going to happen.
Well, you know what? We will talk to a therapist about communication issues because, I'm sure that that's actually a genuine problem a lot of people have. So if y'all have any tips, that's us being very vulnerable, sharing. It was truly a really bad fight. And I know a lot of people don't like to share things like that because it is hard, and luckily we've gotten a lot better usually at not letting things escalate too much because that used to be the problem, that we...
Well, I think we shut it down real quickly.
Maybe just because you were in another country, so it didn't escalate and we just didn't talk for a day.
And that red button, the one that you push when you want to hang up. That one is the one that helps.
It worked. I was mad. I was just mad. I'm mad. I'm pregnant. I'm emotional. So anyway, you know what? We'll touch base with a therapist on it. But you've been really sweet since you've been back. And, we've been able to kind of communicate about some of my concerns. And last night I was expressing to him physical concerns, and I'm going to get to some questions that I actually posed on my Instagram. A lot of you have been asking questions and some of you asked me, if I'm doing a birth plan, an epidural, a home birth. No. Yes, birth plan, no epidural, no home birth. No, I'm actually doing an elective cesarean. That's a personal choice. And Fran and I'll get into that a little bit, but Fran and I were talking about it last night and I told him, you start to have these concerns, right? Vanity, physical, your body's changing. I've been having this rash on my stomach under my boobs. I think because my boobs are touching my stomach, I mean, you start looking at your body every day and, and you're so sweet. You think I'm beautiful, but I feel like a gross pig.
I really don't think you're beautiful. I'm very unbiased when I said that you look incredibly amazing. And every woman out there can say that, like, you are the envy of that group of women.
No, but you know what I mean? And I think only women experience this, but you start to worry, about like even today, like I just don't like how I look some days and you're hard on yourself. And, a lot of women have written me about hair issues, right? Like your hair can grow in the beginning of pregnancy. And then after you have a baby, your hair falls out. And, what's really interesting about that is, TBD, we'll see how it goes. I mean, luckily, one of the sponsors of our podcast is Pros, which we've talked about a lot in the past. Because they have customized hair care, right? So for you, I'm thinning a little bit, or, I have kind of seasonal issues with my hair, which that a lot of people don't realize that heavily affects your hair growth and dandruff and dryness and kind of the texture of your hair, depending on the climate that you live in and the time of year. And obviously postpartum, you're going to go through a lot of hormonal changes. So if my hair's coming out in clumps and I'm having a complete meltdown about it, I know that I can try Pros out to really get me through. And they use all these clean, safe ingredients. So yeah, maybe you're like Fran, you're not postpartum, you're a man.
No, but I need it. I need to start because I'm for sure gonna start. And I want to have the dad bod, but not the dad hair.
The dad bod is okay, but the dad hair's not. No. You know what? You actually can go take a quick, little quiz. You're going to get this free in-depth hair consultation. It's only going to take you about 10 minutes. You're going to answer some questions. They're going to customize this formula for your needs, whether you're a man, a woman, you're postpartum, you're just having some breakage, some thinning, some issues. And go to pros.com/fitish. That's prose.com/fitish for this free in-depth hair consultation. And then you're going to get 15% off your custom hair supplements. Again, that's pros.com/fitish. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I definitely feel anxious. A lot of people have asked me, and I like to be honest about what I want to do. And I'd say free of judgment. I know that's not the case at all, but it's just a personal preference for personal reasons, some other things that I'm electing to have a cesarean. And my OB, luckily, we're very much on the same page. She had both of her kids that way. She said to me, and this is by no means to scare anyone off or make you change your mind, because I think it's amazing. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the home birth idea. I think that that's very medieval, and most every girl I know in my life, we can always only speak to personal experience. A lot of them have had a lot of emergency cesareans in situations when they wanted to have vaginal births, or if they wanted to try something at home or with a midwife at a clinic, they've ended up in the hospital. I think a lot of people glamorize these home births. Like it's not, over 50% of women died back in the day when they had these unmedicated home births, which isn't funny, but I just think, I get that a lot of women are scared of medicine or hospitals and don't want pain meds. I'm not that way. I'm a firm science believer. If you don't know about that about me by now, I want to be in the best, safest, cleanest environment to have our child. And my doctor told me that a cesarean's actually kind of the less recovery's rougher, obviously, but just the best, healthiest, kind of safest way for the baby to be delivered. And that's the decision I'm making. And if he decides, we talked last night, if he decides to enter.
Let me just go ahead and cancel the rubber pool that I just got for the living room.
I have a doula friend who I see for massages, and, there's part of me that leans a little hippy dippy on certain things, and I like that, but not when it comes to having the baby. And I asked her, she's been a part of 20 something home births. And she's a doula. So midwives are obviously more licensed and experienced with more medical training. So they're part of the home birth. That's crucial. But her stories that she's told me are pretty eye-opening. She's been a part of, she said 20 something, only 2 have ever been successful at home. No deaths, but 2 have been successful. All the rest of them have ended up in the hospital, some with real emergency situations. And usually because the woman can't handle the pain.
She might not have a lot of stars in TripAdvisor.
On Doula Advisor? Yeah. No, it's not her fault. There's usually 2 midwives that are present. The doula is just there to help facilitate other things, right? So she doesn't do it alone, but they do a lot of massage techniques and they help you with breathing. She said almost every woman she's experienced, though, even the ones that are tough or doctors have tried to do this, they're they get to a point that they can't handle the pain and the stress that takes on the toll it takes on the relationship, because the woman turns into The Exorcist and is screaming and, and to the husband, and the husband's like, what the fuck?
You remember last Saturday?
No. When you didn't call me. No, that she's like, I want pain meds. And the midwives and doula are going, but this is the one thing on your birth plan that you specifically said you didn't want. And regardless, I didn't realize that women apparently don't think women that have C-sections are like as tough or something like that. I don't really give a fuck. Like, that's my choice. That's what I want to do.
I think they become tougher because the process of coming out might be easy, but the recovery, it's tough.
Well, the doctor told me that she's going to end up cutting me and stitching me up either down there or right there. And I'm just opting for the stomach. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the idea of like going to the hospital that morning. It's going to be scary to be awake and have surgery. But anyway, I'd love your feedback. I mean, I just like to be honest with you. So
for an audience, I'm going to have a live GoPro. So everything's going to be live.
So, they offer you, I mean, we'll talk about this after the fact, but they offer you the option when you have a cesarean of a mirror up here, right? And I'm sure if you've had one, and a clear, a clear thing here. I don't know. I'm pretty morbid and I could watch a surgery. I don't think I want to watch it as it's happening to me because I think that's such a mind fuck. You already know what's going on. You don't really want to feel it. Like, you don't want to feel it at the time. And I told him, you are more than welcome to film and take photos of whatever you want. I mean, one of my best girlfriends had sent me her cesarean photo of her baby being pulled out of this slit in her stomach. It is such a graphic picture. We know what goes on. I told him, take photos. I'll look at them later. I don't care. You film whatever you want. I'm fine with it. I'm not that I'm going to post it, but like, I'm happy to see it.
I will for sure.
And he goes, oh no, I'm going to wear the camera on my head so I can be hands free. I'm like, please don't do that. Are you going to be able, you're tough though. You're not going to, the camera footage, you're going to pass out.
My brother-in-law is a professional photographer and so on, whatever. But he did give me the head thing that he
Are you
used.
going spelunking? Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
No, baby's going spelunking. I'm just giving him the light to come out.
I don't want that photo of like me with the curtain and the baby when they put the baby right here and I'm all drugged and like, and then you're posing next to me and you have a camera on your head. That is not what I want. I don't want to look at you like that.
Just comes up, baby. It's not attached. It's not
All right, y'all let us know if you think Fran should wear a camera on his head.
To my head.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, just a couple other questions before we wrap up today. Y'all have mentioned moving to another country. What countries would you consider? We've really only considered Spain. Have you considered other countries?
No, I think Spain.
Spain. Yeah. we still romanticize that idea.
Or if safety stops being an issue in Mexico.
If safety stops being an issue?
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like, I love Mexico. I love Mexico. I love Mexico City. Mexico City's tough in a way. I love visiting with you and staying with family, and the food and everything about the culture I love. It is just so, there's a lot of pollution and a lot of traffic. I don't love that. I feel it in the air. Yeah. Not to be insulting, because I love your homeland and I love going. There's so many beautiful places in Mexico.
Did you see the picture I sent you from the plane?
No. You must have sent it to someone else.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
What?
No.
How crowded it is?
No. So we were taking off and I was able to take this picture where you can see clear sky.
Mm-hmm.
Like from half of the picture up, clear sky. From half of the picture down, you see this thick blanket of brown.
Yeah.
Gunk.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. That's sad.
Please share it with me. Not sure who you shared it with already, but please share it with me.
I'm just going to ask her to send it to you.
Speaking of Mexico,
because I erased it.
Another one of the questions is, are we going to take the baby to Mexico? That's definitely the first trip. We've been talking about the plan here. It's really hard right now to get passports in a timely manner. So him and I have to kind of figure out, what we're going to get you get the birth certificate a couple of weeks.
We figure out like you can put the bassinet in a box, put holes and just put it under the plane.
People are going to think you're serious. Yeah, we're just going to put him under the plane. No. Yeah, we're going to get, I think I told him.
It won't bother anybody if he cries.
I am missing the beach so much and wanting to do a trip like that. So I think our first, we'll play it by ear. 3 months. We want to go in that sweet spot of a window before they get too terrorist. And if he's a good baby, then great. But of course, we're going to go see his family because 2 members of his family, I guess it's your sisters, 2 of your sister's kids haven't been able to get their
visa. So
their
they're waiting
visa.
for their visa. The waiting time for the visa is like 8 months.
Yeah,
to a
8 months.
year.
So they don't even get it till next summer. So his parents are going to come stay with us, I think, right after we have the baby, because they can, come and go. But we, of course, want to see the rest of the family. So yeah, we're thinking maybe a couple months in, 3 months in, if he's feeling good, we'll go see the family in Mexico City, maybe go to the beach. That'll probably be our first little family trip. I don't know.
I cannot wait.
I don't know, y'all. Day by day. We're going to see how this goes. Any day now, day by day. So we'll keep you posted on our decisions.
Yeah.
There's so many other questions I didn't get to on today's show, but I promise to do it next week. Look for the ingredient list. If you want to cook with us, we chose something that is a soup that doesn't have a ton of stuff. So we'll be cooking Friday, February 4th. We'll send out a Fiddish newsletter. If y'all aren't signed up for the Fiddish newsletters, you should. We send out great stuff all the time, discounts on product. We're launching a new product actually next Tuesday, which is probably one of my favorite products we've ever had. So yeah, sign up for the newsletter. That way you can get some content there. And
great job on the next on the coming product.
Thank you.
Also, you guys are gonna love it. And also, I'm gonna post the list on my personal. And thank you for all your like the options that they gave me.
Oh, they gave you cooking ideas.
Cooking ideas, yes. So I posted cooking ideas, and it was the common consensus was to do a soup. Most of the people wanted me to make menudo.
Sick.
Because they think that you will
love
that
to
it.
Me. I already support his menudo intestine butthole eating love. Yeah. I support it. I don't have to eat it. I don't have to be present for it. Oh, no. I've tried the menudo broth. It so good. Smells so bad. Pregnant or not pregnant. You grew up eating that. That's why you have so many stomach problems.
I don't have any stomach problems. That might be just only the butthole eating.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, follow Franny on social media too. He posts fun stuff about the baby that offends people, but and he's doing all sorts of real estate as well. So you could just follow along his journey, all sorts. Yeah. So, hey, it supports the family. Yeah.
All sorts of real estate does. But yeah, follow me. What's my handle?
I don't know. You have a few which I find to be kind of sketchy. But we can talk about that later.
Oh, but the public one, the one that I don't use for sketchy stuff. Francisco Rizzo _ I think.
Okay. Well, they'll find you. They'll figure it out. Yeah. All right, good. But you got to learn your handle so you can start shouting it out at the end of the show next time. All right, we'll see you next week.